Hi, and welcome to episode 35 of the Guy Who Sews podcast. My name is Sean, and this is my weekly podcast where I share my quilting adventures. I would like to welcome both my returning and my new viewers, and if you are new, I would love it if you would just introduce yourself and say hi in the comments. So let's go ahead and get started with the episode with our works in progress. The first one I'd like to talk about is one I've been working on for quite some time called the Scrappy Diamond. It is a scrappy project I've been working on, and we are getting very close to the finish line. Last week I showed you rows 8 and 9, and I went ahead and attached them to the quilt, and so this is what it looks like now. Just bear with me as I pull it up, and you should hopefully be able to see the last 2 rows right there. So we have discovered it's not quite wide enough, so we're going to attach a couple of borders around the edge, so you'll see that in the next couple of weeks, and then that will become yet another finished project, which I'm looking really excited to. The next one I want to show you has been a work in progress and then a completed project, and now it's going to get back into the works in progress section because I'm actually in the process of quilting it. It is a Sweet Treats quilt. This has been a favorite of mine for quite some time. It's something I envisioned a while back, and it's actually come to fruition. And I've gone around and done all the stitching and the ditching, what's wrong with me? Around all of it, and I've also gone ahead and done some of the quilting. You can see the waffle knit, little waffle cones here that have been done, and then on this one I've also done horizontal on the ice cream scoop as well. And then you can see the waffle knit there, and then the chocolate popsicle you should be able to see vertical lines, and then the waffle is done on this one as well. I hope to get this finished this week, or it really needs to be, otherwise it's not going to make it to the state fair, which would be very sad. So that is what I have for works in progress at the moment. I'm focusing mainly on the state fair stuff, as I've mentioned in previous episodes. So let's now move on to our week in review section. If you're new to this, this is just a short series of clips that I put of me sewing and some other fun stuff during the week. And yes, the dogs are back this week, so I hope you all enjoy. Well, I hope you enjoyed the week in review video. If you did enjoy it, I would love it if you'd hit the like button. It helps me know that you're enjoying the video, and it also helps YouTube know that you're enjoying it as well, and it helps grow my little community. So last week I asked you guys what your favorite hot drink was. A lot of you said coffee, a lot of you actually said tea as well, which I thought was great, and some hot cocos as well. Mine is usually just a black coffee with a bunch of sugar, but sometimes I will branch out and get some flavored syrups like caramel, vanilla, but usually just a black coffee is good for me. So this week's question is, I've been looking at a lot of patterns and everything else, as I usually do, for inspiration for future projects. If you were able to do any pattern that you would able to do or want to do, even if you don't have the skill set right now, what pattern would you like to try? Let me know in the comments. So in case you missed it, yesterday I was on a live with Bev from Goody Goods and Courtney of Pieces Love and Quilting. I was actually on Bev's channel. We decided to have her host instead, so that way she could get a little bit of traffic and some watch hours. and we had a lot of fun. We did what we call a whip party, which is just working on projects we've already started. I worked on my Sweet Treats quilt, and although I did more chatting than sewing, I did get this part done here, all the vertical lines on this, and I just think it looks fantastic. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out yet, go ahead and watch the replay. It's over on Beth's channel. I'll put a link in the description. And so coming up this week, it's going to be kind of up in the air at the moment as to what I'm going to do. On Tuesday, if I can get it done, I'd like to do Clue 7 of the Slow Sweet Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Cotton Cuts, but that's not guaranteed, unfortunately. And then this coming Saturday, I'm excited to have another special guest. It is Brandy from 100 Proof Quilter. She's been doing her YouTube channel now, I think for about 6 or 7 months. I don't quote me because I could be wrong on that. And we're going to go ahead and make a couple of easy blocks. And I just made up a prototype tonight of this. And it's going to be a coffee mug, and I need to adjust it a little bit because the handles need to be a little bit further down and up. But this is kind of an idea of what we're going to make. And then I'm also going to make another block with a teacup and saucer. So that way, if you're a tea drinker, you can make that one instead. Or you can make both. So I would love it if you would join me on Saturday morning back on my channel at 8 a.m. Eastern with Brandy, the 100 Proof Quilter. So now it's time to talk about my goals for the next week or two, and it is getting real, y'all. The deadline to actually submit my entry for the state fair is next week, and I actually need to turn my quilts in just under 2 weeks' time. So we have a long way to go, and not even close to being on schedule. So let's go over the goals and see what I can get done. The first one is to finish the Sweet Treats quilt, which I've shown you like twice already during this podcast, but you know, I love this thing, so it's fine. That one should be done pretty quickly. I mean, today, tomorrow, hopefully the next couple of days, that one will be done. I can put the hanging sleeve on it, and that one will be definitely on its merry way. The next one will be our t-shirt quilt, which you guys probably haven't seen in a few weeks since we haven't touched it. It is halfway quilted, so again, that one should be a fairly safe bet to get into the quilt show. Now the third one, I want to get into the quilt show if at all possible, and this is, you know, one of my favorites, one of your favorites. Everyone loves this thing. If you haven't seen this one yet, go back a few episodes and watch those and just see the progress, because we've had so much fun with this one, the koala quilt. I want to get this done, but it's going to be really tight, and I'm really looking at my different options. Am I going to get this finished? Do I scrap the whole idea of putting it in, or do I go ahead and make up another block and maybe enter it into the wall hanging section? If you have an idea or a suggestion, I'd definitely love to hear it. But we'll see what time brings. Maybe I'll do a mad rush and we'll get it all done. In addition to creating my own videos and that sort of thing, I do love to support other content creators wherever I can. This week I'd like to bring up two of my friends that probably two of the first YouTube channels I started watching last year. The first one was Fallon from So Be It Quilts, and she was on my channel here last week. If you missed that, I just think she's got a wonderful channel. She does a lot of wonderful tutorials. She has her reviews, does a wonderful job. If you haven't checked her out already, definitely do so. I think you would definitely enjoy it. The other one is actually a good friend of hers, Chris O'Neill from Soda Distance, and she does a lot of similar stuff. The thing I love about her channel is she has a series called Lessons from an Old Quilt. She goes and buys old quilts from auctions and flea markets and stuff like that, and she looks into the construction, and she just does a wonderful job talking about it and just showing us what techniques they did and what we can learn from it. So if you haven't checked her out, definitely do so as well. I'm going to put both channel links in the description below. So now it is time for recent purchases. On Friday on the Discord, someone tagged me and said, "Hey Sean, have you seen this pattern?" You know, I've been looking for a new Elizabeth Hartman style pattern for the last few weeks, and she brought it to me and my attention. It's actually from Art East Quilting Company, and it's called Mythical Darksons. And once I saw it, I decided I had to have it. So I went ahead and purchased the pattern, and this is what it looks like. And it's got like griffins and the Loch Ness Dachshund and Mermaid Dachshunds and everything else. So this one's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to start it as much as I want to until the State Fair stuff is done. So as much as I want to start cutting onto that, I just simply don't have the time for it. But this is kind of a closer update of like each blocks. And then I went ahead and bought the fabric for it yesterday just because I was out in the area. The quilt shop was just down the street and I figured it was just easier to knock it out while I was there. So this is some of the body fabrics. I'll put them all together so you can kind of see. And these are all Kona cottons, and thankfully my local quilt shop has all the Kona cotton colors, so I was able to just like go straight down the list and get it. I had to pull some off the top shelf, but that's okay. And this will be for like the mermaid tails. And then I got some of the pepper for the background. This is the same one as I used for the pinwheel quilt earlier this year. I love this as a background. And then this is actually for like the dragon wings. But I'm also going to use this as a backing. As for the binding, I did buy, enough for this, but I might use some of this as well, or I may use both. We'll see what comes in the wash. But that is the next big project that I have going on. Once we get all the state fair quilts done, we also have the other one with all the color. I can't remember the name of it. But so we're going to have plenty going on, in the next few weeks. So that pretty much wraps up today's episode. I love hearing from you guys. Definitely leave a comment. I always love reading them. I reply to every one, whether you post it today or 6 months from when this originally airs. And so I just hope you all have a great week. Let me know what you guys are working on, and we'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.